Okay, let's dive into something really practical today. We're looking at a task most of us do all the time, going to the supermarket.
Yeah, seems pretty every day,
Yes.
right? But it's actually packed with specific language, specific interactions.
Exactly. And the source material we're digging into for this deep dive, it's basically a story someone wrote to walk you through that exact experience.
hmm
Pointing out useful English words and bits of conversation.
It's a good approach, actually, trying to put language into a context that feels real, something you can relate to.
So our mission here is to, well, go a bit deeper than just the story, figure out what language really jumps out and, why it's useful for you, whether you're actively learning English or just curious about how we use language day to day.
Right, focusing on these everyday situations is so valuable. It's where the rubber meets the road for language learning, real-life communication.
Okay, so let's quickly trace Anna's journey from the text, but let's keep it brief. The interesting stuff is the language. She's getting ready, Saturday morning shop. What essentials does she grab first?
The text points out the basics. Her reusable bag, very important these days.
Yep.
Her shopping list, and her wallet. Can't forget
The
that.
fundamentals before you even leave the house. And she walks right. Text says it's only 10 minutes.
Yeah, close by. And it specifically mentions she listens to music in English on the way.
Which is a smart move, turning that short walk into, active listening practice.
Exactly. A little reminder that you can find learning moments, well, pretty much anywhere if you look for them.
So she gets there, grabs a shopping cart. You need one for a decent shop.
Or a basket, maybe, but here it's a cart.
Right, a cart. Goes through the automatic doors, the vibe inside. Pretty typical supermarket scene.
A little busy, yeah. Families, couples, people on their own. Just normal Saturday morning stuff.
Okay, navigating the aisles. Instead of just reading off her whole list, let's focus on the language she bumps into. Where does the text say she goes first?
It starts her off in the produce section. Fresh fruits, vegetables.
Okay, produce section. And it lists specific things.
Yep. Bananas, apples, oranges. Then lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots. Pretty standard stuff.
And there's an action mentioned, isn't there? Something about checking them.
Right, it says she checks the fruit for freshness.
Ah, checks for freshness. That's a useful little phrase.
It really is. Think about that structure. Check for something. Check for mistakes. Check for messages. Check for freshness. It's a common pattern.
In produce itself, that's a handy word too. It just covers all the fresh stuff.
Exactly. Collective noun. She also picks up some herbs, basil, and parsley. The text says she wants to make a healthy salad.
So the produce section gives us item names and verbs about picking and checking things out. Where next?
Then it moves her towards the dairy section. And here, something happens involving the store itself. An announcement comes over the speakers.
Ah, okay. What does it say?
Attention shoppers! We have a special today on milk. Buy one, get one free.
Buy one, get one free. Bojo, you hear that everywhere, don't you?
All the time. It's such a fixed expression in retail language. Short, punchy, everyone knows what it means. A discount.
And you have to kind of tune your ear to understand those loudspeaker announcements sometimes, different from talking to someone face to face.
Definitely a different listening skill.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anna smiles, the text says, and grabs 2 cartons. Smart shopper.
Takes advantage of the deal. Now, while she's around there, she runs into someone.
Yeah, an unexpected meeting. Her friend Mike. This brings in some, typical conversational bits.
Like what? Basic greetings.
Pretty much. Mike says, hey, Anna. Doing some shopping, too. Simple, friendly. Notice doing some shopping. Just a casual way to phrase it.
And then his reply?
Also straightforward. Hi, Mike. Yes, just the usual. How about you? Just the usual, another great natural phrase for routine things.
Nice. And Mike's getting stuff for dinner.
Yeah, he mentions making spaghetti, needs garlic and cheese.
Okay.
And then Anna gives him a little playful reminder. Don't forget the pasta.
Ha! Good point. And the text says they laugh.
It does. It just shows how even a quick errand has these little social moments. Basic greetings, asking what someone's up to, a bit of light banter, functional chat.
So after that quick chat with Mike, she keeps going, grabs some bread.
Whole wheat bread from the bread aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Then breakfast stuff, cereal and oatmeal.
Okay.
And she hits the frozen food section too, gets some frozen vegetables and a frozen pizza for Friday night, it says.
Right. So we're adding more food categories, bread, breakfast, frozen items. The vocabulary just kind of builds up as she moves through the store.
Naturally, yeah. Following the store layout.
Then cart's getting full. She double checks her list. The text actually lists out everything that was on it.
Yeah, it does. Fruit, vegetables, milk, bread, cereal, cheese, pasta, tomato sauce, snacks, toilet paper. Pretty comprehensive list.
Covers all the bases.
Yeah.
And the source just says everything is there.
So it reinforces all those nouns, the item names. And it uses that verb check again, but this time it's about checking against a list. Verifying.
Okay, she's got everything. Final step, the checkout.
A checkout counter. Yep. Waits in a short line.
Ah.
And this is where we get that specific customer-cashier dialogue.
Crucial bit. How does it go? Who speaks first?
The cashier starts it off. Hi. Did you find everything you needed?
That's super standard, isn't it? Especially in, say, the US or Canada. Just checking if the shopping trip was successful.
Exactly. It's polite, functional.
And Anna's reply is simple.
Yes, thank you. Short and sweet. Does the job.
Then the cashier asks about,
Our rewards card. Do you have a rewards card? Again, incredibly common these days. A direct question, do you have?
and Anna has one.
She does. Because yes, here you go. That phrase, here you go, perfect for when you're handing something over.
Light, efficient.
Then the total comes up. $42.35. She pays with her card, packs her bags, and one last little exchange.
The farewells.
Right. Anna says, have a nice day.
And the cashier replies,
You too. Standard reciprocal closing. Very common. Wraps it up nicely.
and then she's off, carrying her bags home. The text mentions the verb carry.
Yep. Physically transporting the groceries. Simple action, specific verb choice.
Okay, so the trip itself is done. But the story doesn't quite end there. It talks about how Anna feels on the way home.
Right. It's a warm day. She feels good. But the important part is why she feels good. The text spells it out.
What does it say? It's linked to the language, isn't it?
Exactly. It says, she enjoyed practicing English in real-life situations. She's also happy because she understood everything at the store.
Okay, so that's the real takeaway from the narrative itself, that feeling you get.
Yeah, that sense of accomplishment, confidence. It comes from actually using the language successfully in a real situation and understanding what's going on around you.
And the source wraps up by saying something like, with practice, shopping in English gets easier.
It really highlights that positive feedback loop in learning. You practice, you succeed, you feel more confident, which makes you want to practice more. Simple scenarios like shopping are, well, perfect for that. Low stakes, high frequency.
So let's quickly pull together the key language we saw woven into this story. Not just a random list, but the stuff that really functioned. We had nouns like groceries for the overall haul.
Right. And check out for the place you pay. Then the section names. Produce. Dairy. Frozen. Useful categories.
Plus things like reusable bag, shopping list, the tools of the trade.
And the verbs were very action-oriented. Pick up items, check freshness or the list, pay at the end, choose what you want, carry the bags.
And greet when you meet someone.
Absolutely. These are fundamental actions in that environment.
Then those ready-made expressions. Buy one, get one free. The classic deal.
Can't escape that one.
Did you find everything you needed? The standard cashier opener? And the polite closers, have a nice day, and you too?
These are really the building blocks, aren't they? For navigating that whole supermarket interaction. They might seem simple, but knowing them makes a huge difference in feeling comfortable.
So, okay, we spent a fair bit of time on what seems like a really simple story. Why is digging into this kind of narrative text actually powerful for your learning? What's the benefit?
Well, it's all about context. It's learning language not just as words on a page, but as tools people actually use.
Yeah.
When you see check for freshness right next to Anna looking at the apples.
Clicks.
Exactly. The phrase gets attached to a meaning, an action, a visual in your head. Or hearing, here you go, just as she hands over the card, it links the phrase directly to that specific moment of exchange.
So it makes the language stick better because it's tied to something concrete.
Precisely. It's not abstract.
Yeah.
For you, as someone learning or observing language, this approach gives you practical knowledge pretty quickly. You see how phrases work in a real sequence of events.
You get those little aha moments.
Right, where you suddenly understand how a simple phrase functions in the real world. And it does this without hitting you over the head with complicated grammar rules or massive vocabulary lists all at once. It's more digestible.
So this whole exploration, this deep dive into a simple supermarket trip, it really shows how much useful, practical language is hiding in plain sight in our everyday routines.
Definitely. We've pulled out keywords, verbs, those set expressions that make up a typical shopping interaction, all from that one little story.
And being able to recognize and use that language, getting that feeling Anna had that satisfaction of understanding and being understood, that's a huge motivator, isn't it?
It absolutely is. That feeling fuels further learning. It makes you think, okay, I handled that. What's next?
So maybe here's something to think about as you go about your own day, maybe the next time you run an errand. If a short fictional walk-in shop can unpack all this useful English, well, how many other parts of your daily routine could be potential gold mines?
That's a great question. What other everyday interactions, maybe popping into a cafe or riding the bus, could you sort of mentally unpack like this to boost your practical language skills? Where else is the learning hiding?